Hello, and welcome to our first session of notes. Today we're going to look at taking notes. So the mystery of taking notes, what's the point? The point is to write down new information that we're going to use for later review. We often are told to take notes, but we often don't always know how to. Or you try to write everything down, and because you're trying to write everything down, you miss something. So I want to take a moment to go through. We're going to take notes on chemistry or physics, but we're going to also kind of review what's a good way to take notes. So if you would, take out some blank paper or use your composition notebook and take some notes with me. If you're going to use your composition notebook, please be sure that you put it in your table of contents. So we're going to practice some note taking by taking some notes on basic definitions. So our first thing we're going to look at is the element. An element is the simplest form of matter with unique physical and chemical properties that cannot be broken down by chemical means. It's found on the periodic table. Now, if I'm going to write that on my paper for notes, I could write every word down, but I'm probably going to miss something that the instructor's teaching. So what I would do is I try to come up with some shorthand, but I might start by writing the word element. And it's the simplest form of matter with unique physical and chemical properties that cannot be broken down by chemical means. Okay, well, let's shorten that. Simple form of matter, form of matter. Okay? And I already know it's found on the periodic table, so do I need to write that down? No, not really. Okay, simplest form of matter. I do think it's important to write unique properties. Chem and physical. Okay. The next definition we have is a compound. A compound is a compound. A compound is two or more elements chemically combined with a definite composition and unique physical and chemical properties which are different from the constituent elements. Wow, that's a lot. So how would I do that on my notes? A compound. Two or more elements. Okay. Definite composition. Unique properties. And let's see, what else? Oh, and different or not equal to constituent elements. What does constituent mean? Right, it means what it's made out of. You might hear about it in politics. The constituents for a politician are the people that make up his area. So the constituent elements in a compound, constituent means the pieces of. So water, for example, has the constituent elements of hydrogen and oxygen. So water has unique properties of the element of what it's made of. So unique properties not equal to element components. So we've written our notes, and we've actually tried not to write everything verbatim, but then I hope you noticed that I've actually tried to abbreviate things. I've tried to use symbols and simplify it. Now you can do this next part either after you've written this or instead of writing this. So for example, what's a simpler way to say all this? Well, draw a picture. So the first thing I would do, to represent the word element, I'm going to draw a box and I'm going to put the letter E for element. Okay, and I'll put the number 1 on top and 1.1 on the bottom. Okay, because that looks like the periodic table. It also, that way we can't confuse it with the element Einsteinium because the numbers are different. Okay, so that's the shortcut that I'm going to start using for element from now on. The next thing is, what about compound? Or actually, sorry, for element, I could also draw a simple shape. Hey, that's an element. It's a single shape. It's the simplest form. It's going to have unique properties. It's all by itself, so we're going to use that as our element. A compound. A compound can be seen as, let's do, shape-wise, we could do a circle and a square, and I would even write COM across it so we know it's a compound. Okay? And we may adjust that. And if you come up with an idea for a good abbreviation for compound, let me know, and we will use it in our class. Okay. Now, that's a basic way to take notes. There is another way to do it where you do write everything verbatim, and it's called the try method, or you do it in a triple way, where you write everything verbatim right here. And when you finish, you summarize, which is kind of what we did here. You summarize over here, and then down here, you summarize, what is this whole thing about? Okay? And this whole thing is about what I would call, and you're not going to see that, pure substance. Pure substances. Okay? It's a type of matter that we're going to explore in our next set of notes. I hope you learned something about notes. You do have to know these definitions, and I will see you next time. Thank you.